John Duggan is at rainy Cheltenham, although I don't know if it's actually raining at the moment, John, but certainly it rained like hell all day yesterday, which has changed the going for the first time in 36 years to not great, really.
Ger and Owen, good morning, and it's Christmas Day here. And look, the most important thing is we've had a dry day and dry night and a dry day today. So the going is very testing. It's going to be heavy ground. That's going to be unusual. I mean, I've been here 17 years. I've never had a heavy ground festival. So it's going to be difficult for the horses to jump out of the ground. It's going to be a war of attrition, both for the punters and for the horses and for the jockeys over the next 4 days. But this is Cheltenham. This is the big show. And whatever the conditions, we're going to enjoy it.
When you're studying the form guide for any racing event, how does the heavy ground change it? Is there any particular metric you're looking at and you're thinking that's the thing that's got the most importance now? I presume staying is one of those things.
Stamina and jumping, guys. I think you got to be. When I was going through the form last night, I was just looking for horses with heavy ground form. You might have horses that don't run very well on good ground. It could be out with the washing in previous years at Cheltenham, but if they've got heavy ground form, they come into the equation completely. Because when other horses, because the thing about Cheltenham that's different about Cheltenham is they go at a very fast pace here, regardless of the ground. They go at a much faster pace, their horses in the races, than they would in normal races, and that will mean that horses that are mudlarks and love staying and want to stay 10 miles will be thereabouts. But it's also important to jump well. And I think that, for example, the horse in the second race, Footpad in the Arkle Chase, is a brilliant jumper. He's got form over further in France on heavy ground. So to me, I think he looks an absolute bomb-proof bet today, Footpad in the second race. Whereas I would not fancy Petit Mouchoir because I don't think he's got enough experience over the fences and probably would prefer better ground.
Yeah, so Footpad at the moment, or certainly when we were coming on air, was still about evens. But I'd say, pardon me, over the next while, you're going to start seeing massive changes in prices, and that's going to be the case particularly today. But for the rest of the week, really, if the ground doesn't improve.
Yeah, and for example, Might Bite in the Gold Cup on Friday is the current favourite, but will he drift? Because I would expect that he probably prefer better ground, and we don't know if he's going to stay the distance. So a horse like Native River in the Gold Cup will come in. You'll see horses coming in and out. Will Altior run in the Champion Chase tomorrow? We still don't know that. Nicky Henderson has to confirm whether the horse who was lame yesterday is ready for the race. Will Duggan, who's got heavy ground form, will people actually start plunging into Duggan? This miracle story. He hasn't run since the festival last year when he was injured. Will Duggan be actually the plunge horse tomorrow? I think a lot will depend, Ger and Owen, on how well Ruby and Willie do today. They got Gettybird in the first, they got Footpad in the second. Willie's got Rathvinden in that 4 mile chase with his son Patrick on board. They've got Benny de Dieu against Apples Jade in the Mare's Hurdle. They've got a few in the Champion Hurdle against Bouvardere. We don't know what Faheen's going to do today. It's like there's a lot of question marks around Willie, but there seems to be an awful lot of confidence in Willie Mullins and the yard that they're going to have a good week. I'm feeling of confidence about Willie's runners this week. I think he's a good bet to be champion trainer.
Were you this confident about their chances with regards to day one at the outset of day one last year? Because obviously the first 2 days were a disaster for the Mullins camp last year.
Yeah, but I think Willie said at the time that it wasn't that the horses weren't running well. It's just that they were beaten on the bad horses on the day. It's very hard. Willie's been coming here over 30 years. And Willie, his first winner at Cheltenham was in 1995. And he's only taken off in the last few years. So Willie was coming here and having winners once every few years. It's very difficult to win here. But what we've seen in the last few years, Owen and Ger, is that it's become almost expected that Willie will win and that Gordon will win. And Willie had 6 winners last year. And I think sometimes you can be the victim of your own success because Cheltenham is completely changed. When I was here in 2002, I think we got about 5 winners, and now we'd 19 winners last year. And now when I'm looking at the races, when I'm studying the form overnight, I'm actually looking at, apart from Nicky Henderson, really, are there that many English trainers? Paul Nicholls is off the boil. David Pipe is not doing as well as he did. So I'm actually looking for the Irish horses like Any Second Now with Ted Walsh, Gordon Elliott's Tycoon Prince today, Rathvinden. Gordon Elliott has got a couple of the 4 milers. He's got Moss back. He's got Jury Duty. I'm actually looking at the Irish horses as the horses that I want to be looking at, more so than the English horses, because of the way that Cheltenham's gone over the last few years.
Will we go through a couple of races and actually get some of your tips for us? So we were talking earlier on a bit about betting strategy, maybe before we get into it, and Owen said he learned his lesson last year by having a bet in every race, and ultimately it was carnage for him.
Owen!
It was a stupid thing to do, John, I know.
Owen, it's okay. You know, you're a young man. You're a young man. Look, the strategy is, guys, I mean, the way I've always played Cheltenham is, because obviously got to do charity bets, is to take it slowly. and to go each way where you can and look for value where you can, but you don't have to bet in every race. So I'm putting up horses today. I don't think the Champion Hurdle is worth betting on at all. I think Bouvardere will win it, and I don't really see an each way alternative. Whereas in other races like Apple's Jade, I think will win, but I do think Jerry's Girl is a horse that can definitely finish in the places. So my betting strategy is just to take it kind of slowly, and unless I see something, I will see something during the week. And when I see something, what I will do is I'll change my staking completely to reflect that. So at the moment today, what I've done is with my mythical 500 jar, and obviously we should be only betting a fiver here, I put 200 on Footpad at evens, and then I put €30 on 5 other horses. So I've got Summerville Boy in the first, a heavy ground horse is 7-1. I got Footpad at banker, I think, at even money, 200 on the nose. And I've got this Martin Pipe horse in the 250. Rams, I can't even pronounce it. Ramses De Teilee, Teilee. It's about 12-1 shot in the 250. Martin Pipe's got a great, or David Pipe's got a great record in the race. His son, Apple's Jade, I think, will win the Mares Hurdle. She's got great form against the men, and she won the Hatton's Grace Hurdle really successfully and beat Super Sunday last time. But Jerry's Girl, I do think, can make the frame at 10-1. I do think Rathvinden's got a really good each way chance in that 4-mile race at 450 at 11-2, and I do think Any Second Now is quite a good novice, and I think he's down in grade here in half 5 for Ted Walsh. Any Second Now at 11-2. So I do think Rathvinden, Any Second Now, Jerry's Girl, I think they've all got each way chances. I think Summerville Boy's got an each way chance, and I think Footpad is the banker of the day. I do think Apple's Jade and Bouvardere will win, but sometimes you're looking for, would I be back in an 8-13 shot in this ground at Cheltenham? Probably not. I'll actually maybe go for a bit of each way. I actually think Footpad is the best bet of the prices of the day at even money.
Okay, so Footpad at evens, but after that it's each way on Jer's Girl, each way on Rathwinden, each way on Any Second Now, and is it an each way bet on Summerville Boy and Ramses De Teilee?
Yeah, and those two as well. That's my staking plan for the day. But it's a tread softly. If Footpad gets blown out, if that San Calvados beats him, then I'm looking at a losing day, unless one of the others can come through. But I'm generally looking at what my strategy is: get Footpad to win, and one of the others maybe to come through and get me into profit for the day. That's the way I'm thinking. And I really do think that Apple's Jade and Footpad are pretty nailed on. But there's somebody, my nephew texted me yesterday, he says, Footpad, Get a Bird, Apple's Jade, Bouvardere, will I just do them in an accumulator? And I'm kind of saying that's great in practice, or in theory, but in practice, one of them will probably get beaten. I think Get a Bird might be the most vulnerable. Ruby Walsh has never sat on him. He's going left-hander for the first time under rules, and it's quite a competitive race, that Supreme Novice Hurdle at half 1. So it all looks great at the moment, and everything is. It's like what is it? Is it like you've done your washing? Everything's pristine, everything's beautiful, everybody's opinion is right. But come half 5, we could be all wrong.
Yeah, John, we go and let you go and get some breakfast and some hot coffee, and enjoy the rest of the morning and Christmas morning. Sounds pretty good. We'll talk to you later,
guys. We'll unwrap the presents right now. Cheers.
So, John Duggan with us there. That's pretty much it from John for this morning, but he will be back around 12:30 as we bring you our AM racing special. Technically it'll be a PM racing special, but no one's going to split hairs on that one. And we will go live across our channels on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter every day at 12:30 ahead of each day's racing for Cheltenham.
Going to crack open a selection box. It is Christmas morning. It's acceptable to do that. Have a crunchy at 9:30. Just, get the turkey dinner going.
Bit of Baileys in your porridge.
Bit of Baileys in the porridge. Having porridge on Christmas morning is a largely futile experience. Some Baileys with my Baileys. Another crunchy as the smell of the turkey wafts into the studio. But we may as well just get Christmas hats and everything for this 12:30 show. I guess when you talk about growing up and maybe the feeling of Christmas gets less just with age, go to Cheltenham, you get it all back.
Yeah,